I've never heard what we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah.
So when you said that, oh yeah, I can do it, and it's going to be, incredible, you piqued my attention. So all the comments goes to Neil. Okay, just Neil. Just
Feel
send them all
free.
his way.
Dig in. I love a good controversy. We're going to be Mythbusters episodes today for breaking and dispelling myths about Amazon. So many of them out there.
There are a ton. And this
Yep.
one, this is a solid one because I've hung around with a lot of PPC people,
Sure.
they either have their agencies or are very good with PPC.
Right.
And something that they've always told me, and I do right now, I never, ever turn off or pause a PPC campaign. You're coming on saying, yeah, you can do that.
I'm the crazy man standing in the river yelling. At the end of this, it's going to sound a little bit weird because look, if I had an Instagram agency, I would tell you Instagram traffic is the best traffic for your business, and I would run your Instagram traffic, and I would tell you all the metrics and the reasons why we're going to help and grow and scale your business with Instagram traffic. And oh, by the way, pay me for that. So, I'm not saying everybody does that. I'm just saying there's modus operandi. There is opportunity there. What I'm going to tell you is something that's a little antithesis of the market understanding. It has nothing to do with selling you anything. It has to do with educating on certain aspects of this engine, okay, that runs Amazon. And I talk about it a lot because it's things that people don't understand on scale. And when you get to certain levels of scalability, you start to realize there's pockets of information distribution and syndication within these platforms, whether it's Instagram, viral traffic on Facebook, or distribution of product and keyword ranking within Amazon's platform. When they want you to be rewarded with it and you're the most relevant, highest relevant converting product, they will distribute you out to more traffic. You might put this together with like the top 100 list to some degree, because a lot of people say top 100, that's where all the traffic is, and top of the listings, that's where all the traffic is. But to get to the top of the listings, what does it actually take, and how can something this crazy actually be sane and make it so that I'm not just crazy and not just standing on my own? I have case study after case study of folks who have done this, and most recently Keith and John are two people that just went through this experience. And it has a lot to do with the product, the listing, and the relevancy against the engine, and whether or not you're being rewarded. So much so that it's possible for you to dial down, and in even some cases, turn off your PPC advertising campaigns without losing ranking, and instead recouping 100% of the profits in your unit that was previously being, eaten up by PPC campaigns.
And you're going to be doing this all through organic traffic, just because the algorithm likes you.
There's traffic inside of Amazon. Okay. And we all know that it's there, where it's the holy grail that we're all after. Right.
Right.
So what's the difference between somebody who is able to get some of that traffic and someone who's able to get a lot more of the traffic? Right. My friend Matt Harward, who's very good at the DTC side, talks about the algorithmic nature of his experience with Facebook and how he was able to and is able to go in and compete with somebody who's maybe doing 2 million a year and thinks they're maxed out. It's all the traffic they can reach, and they're doing all their campaigns and everything right. And he can come into that same space and do 20 million a year. Okay. And how has he been able to repeat those results and show how he does it? Because he understands something that a lot of people don't. He understands the algorithm really well. And at the end of the day, you and I can each have a product we're competing on, Norman. We've used a little bit of this analogy in the past, and I'll bring it up again. We can each have a product we're going to compete. Let's call it the cheap Chinese bicycle seat. Okay. And if you and I both go in the market, we're both branded, private labeled, we're going into the market. There's going to be a differentiation between my brand and yours, and its relevance to the customer. And of course, how the algo sees us. How does your brand reach so much traffic and so much distribution? And how could mine receive 10 times more than yours? Right? What's the difference in the two if we're selling the same product, but we're in the same space? And the simple answer is, what does the algorithm look at to determine brand viability and ultimately the customer outcome? And it's called relevancy.
Right.
And so many people don't understand that what relevancy actually means to a AI and machine language learning. And without getting too mechanical, it just basically gets down to your product is being talked about more. Its relevancy in the engine is more, and your unit session is more relevant to the buying experience, which is literally customer to cart in 30 seconds or less. And knowing that it's going to get you in front of that customer that's already in demand and get them to buy your product faster than other people. When you hit that line, when that straight line from customer to add to cart to checkout goes, you will reach much more distribution inside of the system than your competitor. Even if you're running the same product in the same space, the relevancy will be different. I will receive more traffic than you. The outcome of that is that I can use PPC as a tool, like rockets launch one of the Elon Musk powered satellites into the air, one of the rockets. They don't keep rockets all the way through all stages of the launch. Their rockets are there to propel through the difficulty. And once they reach certain, the space, and once they reach a certain level of altitude, they fall off. Second stage boosters push them a little farther, and then they are up there spinning around 25,000 miles an hour. PPC campaigns can be done the same way with Amazon branded products.
Wow. Okay, so let's go back to relevancy.
Yes.
So we've got a mix that listen to the podcast from beginner, intermediate, right up to the advanced. Relevancy means different things to different people. Can you talk about relevancy and give some examples?
So relevancy, what I think and what you might think of it really aren't important. What the engine thinks of it is more important. What does the engine see as relevant to the product? It really gets down to the demand and the signals of demand, not only on Amazon, but on other platforms that Amazon is tracking for signals against that product, that niche, time of year, pricing, and other differentiations of that product, including the profitability of this unit being sold as a bike seat versus your unit being sold as a bike seat. Because remember, Amazon wants to make more money, right? So the relevancy of the engine really gets down to leading factors of indication that show that certain products might break out, certain brands might be able to get more distribution, inventory levels about one brand is bigger than the other. And if Amazon's going to put traffic down on you, they know they're going to have a much larger, bigger campaign. So if, for example, one of those indicators of relevancy is, do I have 1,000 units and you have 100? All right, that's a different level of relevancy. Now, there are ways to kind of get the engine to believe different things at different times during the launch phase, so we can work within the terms of service. But literally, it gets down to the engine checking off the different data points and validating that my brand is bigger than yours, my distribution capabilities are bigger than yours, the profitability of is it bigger than yours, and my unit session percentage conversion is higher than yours. I'm basically checking the box on the relevancy list so that distribution can occur. If I'm not checking all of those boxes, it will limit my distribution or syndication across the platform, meaning it will only show me to so much traffic and so much area. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. But when you're looking for relevancy, what are the tools that you're using to give you this information?
So we've developed our own, and this is where it gets to be a little fun. There isn't a specific data set out there right now that matches what I'm telling you. We've actually created a data set called our most valuable product data set. And in there, we have looked at 48 different data points that also tie social signals, the data, the relevancy of the products currently selling in the market, products and brands we can bring in to compete with those current products in the marketplace, and all the signals that tie data points together to say, hey, this product, not that one. And when we look at that data set, it's based literally on the volume of sales we've done in our own companies and what our clients have done. And so it's got more and more robust. And pretty soon, what we're working on right now is another level of machine learning and AI that is going to go out and refine that even more by touching things we do manually, which are social signals out in the space of, say, Twitter or TikTok or Facebook or other locations that we look at as signals for trending of products, product types, not just where it's trending right now, but it's future trendability. So if you look at Amazon right now, you're taking a snapshot in time. You're not actually seeing what the future product opportunity of a product launch is. You're seeing the past opportunity of products that have already gone in the system. The real trick is to get in and understand, where are those breakout products? Where is my potential Instapot? How can I get in there ahead of a network or a push in there? And there's where the signals of social media come in. And we're going to try to tie some more technology to that to look at more leading indicators. And then, like in all things, I've said this before, we're going to test. Did we get it right? We're going to test the market, the audience, the conversation, and then the add to cart to Amazon to see if we got it right. Once we do that, the data will tell us exactly where to go.
So before you do any of this, it's important that your listing is done to the nines. Right?
What is the most relevant metric that allows something like this to occur? And it is your unit session percentage. It is the unit session percentage of you on mobile and desktop. Okay. determining whether or not you can beat and sustain competition over a certain amount of time based on who's already in the market and bringing something new to the market. All right. Because Amazon understands that you are bringing a new product. You've got new health in your account, maybe a new product altogether, maybe your first product in a brand new account. And they understand that they don't want to just squelch you because you might become the next up and coming bestseller. So they don't want you to lose. I know people feel like that at times with Amazon. They don't want you to lose. So what they've done is they've gone and literally got an engineering team at every level within Amazon's node base. And they basically have pulled together literally anywhere between 50 to 100 bots. This is public information. They've got it on their channels. You can go look this up, that are running around inside of there saying, is this new brand and product capable of beating one that has 1,000 or 5,000 reviews already on it, or different reviews? Can this product show that it has capability? If we give it distribution, if we give it space, if we give it traffic, if we give it visibility, could it potentially beat the one with 2,000 or 3,000 reviews in it? And if all the signals show up correctly, then it will give more traffic. And if you maintain that unit session percentage, you maintain the conversion rates, and you maintain, obviously, good products bring great reviews. As that comes forward, then the engine will feel validated and send you more distribution. If it does not, it will limit your reach.
Okay. And I know that we've talked before about reviews.
Yep.
And you mentioned in the past that you really don't care about reviews because, a matter of, I think you said that, and I'm an old guy, so my memory's kind of going, but I think you even said you don't care if you have a single review. You'll compete against anybody that has hundreds, if not thousands.
Because we're talking about an engine. At this point, the engine says, you have a product. We don't really care what that product is at the moment. What we care is, do you match with a potential breakout product that is going to benefit us? That's it. And at this point, the reviews aren't telling them that, right? Because they know organic reviews will eventually validate that you're a good product. What they're looking at is all the signals of saying, do you have a potentially good to great product? That's all they're looking for. So what this does is, if we were to follow this down the bad path, let's say for a second, so we can understand what the good path would look like. The bad path would be, I launch a cheap piece of Chinese crap and I do all the things right. Well, eventually signals and time and market and reviews eventually are going to show my product isn't that great. My life cycle is going to go like this, and then it's going to start tapering off and fall down. It's just going to go, because eventually bad products will catch up with you, right? But it didn't mean you didn't do anything right at the beginning. It just means you didn't do things right at the middle or secondary stage, let's call it. And you did some things wrong at the beginning, because don't launch a cheap Chinese piece of crap. We've talked about that before. Don't launch Me Too products, right? Build a better than or a great product.
Right.
And then the engine will literally reward you. So the end result is, combine the beginning, the ROI will come a little bit longer. That's how private label works. But with the ducks in a row at the very beginning and relevancy to the product and the engine, the reward will be much greater. And no, don't need the reviews at the very beginning. The reviews are something that comes in secondary. What we need to do is basically tell the engine what it needs to know in order to reward us. And you can do that regardless of product. That's kind of the important factor to understand. If my product looks really well, Amazon still doesn't even know I have a great product yet. They didn't check the product. All they did was check it in at the warehouse. All they did was send it through the system. Nobody looked at this and actually said, this is a great product. Let me reward this brand with a great product inside of a seller health account. No, that's not how this works. But everybody somehow thinks that's how it works.
Yeah.
That's not how it works.
I remember when you first said that. So you're just a man of controversy.
I'm going against the norm. I'm myth busting.
Yes, there we go.
Why am I myth busting? Because I have seen things that many of them have not. I have seen brands to grow to 1 million a month in less than 90 days. How is that even possible, right?
Yeah.
Because the products haven't even yet fully been vetted by the marketplace. They were vetted by the audience conversation and stuff we had prior to going market. And then Amazon's algorithm basically rewarded that audience and conversation that was already occurring, because demand was already there, and all the engine wants to do is fill demand. And there are quite a few places inside of Amazon where demand is nowhere matching the capability or the amount of sellers that can move that product. When you step into that demand, it will reward you immediately and then want to try to prove you as the best product because it wants to meet the demand. When it meets the demand, what does Amazon get? More sales, more customers, happy buyers, etc. That's their model, right? But they're only going to double check you on the backside if you've got a bad product and ding your seller health account or get A to Z, depending upon how you're selling, or any of the other negative things, including bad reviews that can occur, or product mishaps that can occur, or all the other things we've seen happen on the backside. But what we're talking about is all the important things on up the front, because we're making a big assumption. We said it, I'll say it again, that we have a great or better than product setting on the sideline ready to go, right? And that product is available, not even checked by Amazon, other than they might want to qualify that you're not a hazardous chemical or have pesticides or whatever. But other than that, no one is manually going in and saying, this is a great product, give this more traffic. That's not how this works. So when you understand that, then you recognize there's an engine. And there's an engine that's trying to sell more products.
Yeah, and that's what it comes down to. If Amazon can sell a product and get more profit, then they're going to promote it. And what you're saying, just sitting back, it's completely logical.
Just because it actually happens. I'm talking about theories.
Yeah.
He went through 1,000 units after launching, shut off his PPC, and tried to slow down the sales before his next order came in, but actually found his organic went up. His profitability obviously came back completely because there was no PPC, and he was ranking and selling. And he's like, holy crap, I can't get the product fast enough. He didn't think it was going to occur. We watched it occur. And he's a case study of that literally just happening. John did the same thing. John got his product up, has struggled with the unit session percentage a little bit, kept working to get that conversion up. As he did that, PPC costs came down, organic ranking went up. He shut off his PPC campaigns. Everything kept going. Everything is just trending upwards. Okay. Bry did the same thing. Bry was one of the other examples I used. He came in with the product. It was right in Amazon's slipstream of relevancy with all the checkbox clicked off. And so the engine just said, hey, you're the product we want everybody to see. Up went the traffic, no reviews, no PPC was on for the first 5-7 days. He turned it off, right? He actually turned it off for the same reason Keith did. He was going to run out of inventory faster than he anticipated. And it's great. He came back and later on said, why didn't you tell me this? Why wouldn't you tell me this was occurring? And I'm like, dude, how many times can I say the same thing? And so the end result was, he's got his next order in. He just went back. He's back to $8,000 a day sales and growing quickly. Daniel experienced the same thing. So I have one thing after another. I'm not working on theory. These are actual working examples and models of doing it and playing correctly with the algorithm that's in Amazon.
Yeah, and that was interesting because when you were talking about this at the beginning, one of the first things I asked, do you have a case study? And well, yeah, which one do you want?
That's how we do our launches.
Right.
It's part of how we validate that the product has the capability for, you can call it distribution. People call it syndication. The internet DNS world term like propagation. It's how things move out across all the servers once they've been validated. In Amazon, at one point, we tested it out. It had about 25 different algorithms working at any one time on the platform. And you could go in and see each of those algorithms was doing minor and major testing at different level. It culminates down to around 21, or actually, what was that the other day? Like 1,200 or so, or maybe it's 2,100, I forget. Between 1,200 and 2,100, I've got to get the exact stat, actual split tests that they do all throughout the entire year, right? In which they're trying to optimize the engines. And it literally is all revolving around the main core component of the same engine that's been running for the last 9+ years. But all these other components are just going around the nodes and other sections and trying to determine that new products that are entering do not get destroyed by existing products that are there and give fair market competition to the products that are coming in. Otherwise, they know they'd be sued for antitrust. And this came up here just recently about Amazon being able to run its own shipping supply and storehouse. And the government was literally saying, well, that might be an antitrust violation because now you're going to destroy UPS and Postal Service and all this stuff. And we're like, no, that's free market capitalism. Don't do that. But anyways, the point is that the distribution will be there. The capabilities are there. Once the certain algorithms reward you, it literally just tells the rest of the system, propagate and distribute out. This is the product that needs to be seen. And then you can get more traffic than you have product for.
All right.